Hi guys, we're basically gonna be following my mom's recipe to make a baked chicken in the oven. She's making 2 chickens, and the first one, the recipe is starting off with a juice of a 1 whole lemon. We're gonna put in ginger garlic paste, which is adrak lasan paste, 2 tablespoons full. Moving on to turmeric powder, haldi, also known as haldi. So 1 teaspoon of that. 2 teaspoons of the red chili powder, which is the lal mirch we use in mostly everything that we cook. That's a very common spice. We're gonna go in with 1.5 teaspoon of salt. My mom happens to be using the 33% less sodium salt, but that's what we prefer in our household. But you can use whatever you want and whatever the taste is that you prefer for the salt. She's going in with ajwain, which are korum seeds. We're going to put in 1 teaspoon of those. Now we're going to mix the whole mixture of spices. Mix it, and once it's mixed, put the chicken in there. Rub the chicken down with all those spices. You don't want to leave any spot that's not rubbed with the spices. The better the rub, the better the marinade, and the equally it will be in flavor. The taste will equally be good, because if you miss a spot, Now we're going to cover this up with an aluminum foil to be marinated overnight. Now, if you can't marinate overnight, you can, marinate for at least 4 to 5 hours, a minimum. This is a second chicken. Now, it doesn't start off with the lemon juice, so we're going to start off with the haldi. Then the red chili powder, 2 teaspoons of that. 1 teaspoon of the haldi. 1.5 teaspoon of the salt again. Two tablespoons of the ginger garlic paste. These are korum seeds. Again, ajwain. We're going to put 1 full tablespoon of the ajwain, and instead of the lemon juice here, we're going to add in half and half. If anybody's ever cooked with cream, if you don't have half and half, you can add in cream. If anybody's cooked with any of those 2 things, and you have marinated your meat with that, you'll know that the meat comes out a lot tender and juicier the next day when you cook it. You're going to put in 8 tablespoons of the half and half for the cream, or a half a cup. You're going to mix all those ingredients together, and again, this is going to be a paste that we're going to rub onto the chicken. You're going to take the chicken, put it in that bowl, and rub it again. Okay, she's going to transfer the chicken. Again, rub it again. I mean, all of this marinating shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes. Not even 10. Like, within 5 minutes, the prep work should be done. Because the chicken is... And you want to get chicken that are skinned already with no skin on them. I mean, if you prefer the skin, I don't know how that would turn out. You can try it, but... we always get chickens without the skin. Now, this is being transferred in the second bowl. Okay, cover it up. Now this is ready to go in the fridge. Both of these containers are ready to go in the fridge to be marinated from overnight. Now this is the next morning. This is Christmas Day. And this is the day that we are going to bake, because we marinated it overnight already. Now over here my mom is preparing the rice stuffing, which is The ingredients for that are the red chili pepper, which is 1 quantity of that, 3 of the stems of the spring onions, which is, how do you call that? Hare pyaz. To that, my mom is adding in 1 teaspoon of haldi, red chili powder, 1 teaspoon. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now the rice she's using is half boiled already, so it's definitely not raw rice. So you want to make sure you boil your rice previous to stuffing it into the chicken or making a mixture of that or anything like that, because the rice will not cook in there. So make sure the rice is half boiled. Now we're going to take the chicken from the marinated, pots. We're going to transfer them onto the baking sheet. And once we have them on the baking sheet, we're going to start taking the rice mixture and start filling the middle of the chicken. Now, it's your preference. If you want to put more rice, you can put more rice. You can put half a cup in one chicken and half a cup in the other chicken. My mom happened to just take the half a cup and just split it between the 2 chickens. Now you're going to fill the chicken up. My mom doesn't like overflowing it, but I have made it where I've used more rice and it didn't really change anything. The rice cooked fine because after all everything is covered. But my mom here used just half a cup. Now you're gonna take the aluminum foil, cover exactly where the rice is, so it's gonna cook with the steam. The remaining, the rice, it's gonna cook it off. She's trying to put that underneath the leg so it doesn't move. You want to make sure the aluminum foil does not move. And exactly everything that she's done here, we're going to do to the second chicken. This is totally optional, but we like potatoes. And, my sister and I, we eat a lot of potatoes. And, this is a good way to make your baked potatoes, and it'll have some kind of spice to it also. Now, it's up to you if you want to add those or not, but you can throw them around the tray. You don't need to boil them or anything. Just cut them up and put them around the tray. Now she's taking the second chicken and is going to stuff that chicken as well and cover that chicken as well. Okay. Alright, so she's just taking the remaining potatoes, putting them in the masala or the mixture that she has there, and putting them back in front of the chicken. Okay, completely seal the chicken pans with aluminum foil. You want to make sure no oxygen, no air gets inside of the chicken because they have to cook with steam. You're going to cook them for about 1 hour at 435-degree oven. And basically you're going to cook them an hour so they can cook halfway. So by 1 hour they should cook halfway. You're going to take the chickens back out. Take those trays out and you're going to check to see how much the chicken is cooked. At this point there should be some liquid on the bottom of the tray and the chicken should be there. Now you're going to take a knife and you're going to poke the chicken just to see if it's thoroughly cooked or if it's still raw. So that's the test that you have to do. How cooked the chicken is. But definitely it should still be uncooked if you put the oven at 435 degrees. No, you don't want to cook the chicken too fast because then it's just going to dry up and it's going to be hard eventually. Now we're going to take the chicken and put it back in the oven. Put the aluminum foil back on there, seal it tight, airtight, and then we're going to cook the same chicken for 30 more additional minutes. This is the second chicken. She's also checking this one as well. Okay. Okay, now after the 30 minutes are up, we're going to remove the chickens. At this point, the chickens At this point, they should both be cooked pretty thoroughly already. You're still gonna see liquid on the bottom of the trays. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna get rid of that liquid on the bottom of the tray, but the chicken is thoroughly cooked at this point. My mom is giving me the okay that the chicken is cooked. Now she's going in to check for the second one. Now what she's telling me is that to get rid of the liquid, you're going to remove the tray out of the oven, and we're going to directly put those trays onto the bottom of the oven right there, just so the liquid can really dry up so quickly. You're going to put in there for at least 15 minutes. Well, 15 to 20 minutes is maximum, just so the liquid can completely dry from the bottom of the chicken, because you don't want chicken soup. Okay, so now the liquid has dried up completely, and now we're gonna remove that tray. We're gonna place that tray back in the oven now, and once that tray is there, we're gonna broil the chicken uncovered with direct heat from the top for 3 to 4 minutes, no more than that. And you really have to monitor this part, because you can really burn your chicken. 3 to 4 minutes back in the oven, broil. After it's being broiled, you're going to take it back out, take butter, and you're going to start brushing it all over the chicken. After you brush it all over the chicken, you're going to take the tray and put this back in the oven again for an additional 1 to 2 minutes, just so the butter can melt and it can absorb all the butter inside the chicken. And here's your finished product. This is the finished product. Here's your chicken, your rice, and just enjoy. And let me know if you've tried this recipe and how it went for you. Thank you.